ancestors! Kazukai Kazukin! Axes out!
Hello and welcome to Neural TV. We're going to be taking a look at some Warmaster figures I've just finished painting up, and this is a small army to represent the Dwarven throngs of Carrick Cadrin, led by Ungrim Ironfist himself. So wanting to get into Warmaster for a while, having done quite a few other small scale projects, I thought it would be a good idea to combine my newfound love of the smaller scale with my love of the old world. So these are mostly forest dragon miniatures, all 3D printed, so easy to print on home printer. It didn't take much time at all really. And then my Ungrim Iron Fist model is actually from Varus Miniatures, which we'll take a look at later. So 1000 points of Warmaster Revolution, which is a free kind of modern updated version of Warmaster, which you can go and have a look at online. It's totally free to download the rules and look at the army lists. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go and have a look at it yourself. We've got Ungrim Iron Fist himself leading the force. He'll be my general, and I think he's got a magic sword to kind of boost up the points. We've got 2 units of Slayers. We've got 3 units of Warriors, a unit Handgunners on the left. We've got some cannons on the top right of the screen, and we've got some Gyroopters as well. So we're going to have a look at each of those units individually, and I'll talk a bit more about how I painted them, and what's quite interesting about this project. So we'll start off just by having a look at a simple stand of warriors. So these are just your standard kind of hand weapon, shield, dwarves of the Throng, quite heavily armoured. I love their nice cloaks, and they've got the gorgeous kind of shield detail as well. There's a few options with these files. You can choose to have them with blank shields, but I went for the moulded detail. Mounted on a 40 by 20mm base, that gives you a single stand, and then most of the units are made up of 3 stands. Colour scheme wise, I went for, I think it's kind of an older style of Carrick Cadrin with the red and the green, and I went for I guess an ordered variation. So you've got red and green shields, red and green capes, and then the trim on them is also red and green, but it kind of works in the way that, if you've got a green shield, you've got red trim and vice versa. And then picked out a few details in gold, not too much gold because these are just kind of the standard warriors, so not too much bling, but yeah, just a few areas picked out in gold, again a bit more variation. And yeah, really gorgeous models, and they're absolutely great fun to paint. And here's a quick look at one of the command stands. So you've got him leaning on his shield there, again gorgeous detail, and a nice mix of variation. A couple brown cloaks just to break up the colours as well, and I think it gives the look of a unified but varied force. Handguns, much the same. You've not got as much kind of colour pop on the shields, so some of these guys have got a bit more colour on their clothes, and then again kind of contrasting on the trim. This is the command section. These guys mount a bit different, rather than kind of 2 strips, one at the front, one at the back. You have 2 little guys paired up front to back, so a few less models per base. I did experiment putting 5 across, but it was just a little bit too packed, and I thought it looked a bit more interesting in this kind of skirmish order. So yeah, just 1 unit of these guys for now, but definitely we'll want some more later. And there wouldn't be a dwarf army without artillery. Thought I'd show these both off at the same time. Again, you're getting the idea of the colour scheme, and again this is how artillery is based in Warmaster. this is one unit, I guess, of 2 stands. Added some much needed firepower to the Dwarven Throng. And we've got these absolutely stunning Gyroopters. I've painted 2 up. You can only actually include 1 per 1,000 points, so there are restrictions on kind of how many units you can take, like most Warhammer games, and there's also kind of a minimum for things like warriors that you have to take. So you can only take 1 Gyroopter per 1,000 points, but I thought as I was painting them up, I'd paint them both up at the same time. And again, that kind of consistent, I've got a bit of green there and a bit of red on the top, and they're based up on the same Warhammer basing, Warmaster basing even, the 40 by 20, and then I've got 1 dressed up in opposite colours. So yeah, quite nice. Lovely, lovely little models. I put them on a bit of a higher flying stand, just to kind of elevate them above the rest of the troops. Yeah, definitely one of my favourite things in the Force. It's a shame you can't take more. Maybe we'll do some more for friendlier games. And then last but certainly not least, especially in this Force, are the Slayers. So I'm trying to base this loosely around a Carrot Cadrin Force, which was, I enjoyed the colour scheme and I enjoy the character, Ungrim Iron Fist as well. And being the Slayer keep, the Slayer hold, I want to have as many Slayers as I can in the army. So you can have 2 per 1,000 points. So this is my first set of 2 Slayers. Again, quite simply painted up. Unlike the other models, which I painted using simple contrast method, I actually airbrushed the skin tone on these guys. And then put a bit of work into their orange hair, so some good layers of highlighting on there. Finally got to use my pot of Citadel Troll Slayer orange to actually paint Troll Slayers, which is brilliant. And I even put some little tattoos on there as well, just some little kind of blue squiggles here and there. And they're small clothes and things. I was originally going to paint in the green and red, but I thought there's enough colour interest on them already that I would just do them in browns and things. And I'm really pleased I did, otherwise I think they would have been too busy, too much colour, and the orange hair wouldn't have popped enough on them. So then a quick look at some of the characters. Very pleased with this guy. This is Ungrim Iron Fist, or the Slayer King model from Varus Miniatures. Based him up with a couple of the elite dwarves from Forest Dragon behind him. Again, spent quite a bit of time on this guy, and he'll be the general for the army. He's got his dragon cape on, I think, from his slaying days. And I went for a green banner on this one, as I thought red might distract from the orange a little bit too much. So he's the leader, the general of the force, and we'll check out the other couple of heroes I've painted up as well. So this is a hero, or maybe even the general at some of these smaller points. And again, this is from Forest Dragon, and this is a fantastic model. I know the pose is based very much off, I can't remember what edition, but one of the old Fantasy Army books, one of the old dwarf books. Absolutely gorgeous model. It was great fun to paint. Take a bit of time and paint these small 10mm models as if they were 28mm with the highlighting and the detail on them. So yeah, really cool guy. I think this will probably just be a hero on an Oathstone. So various heroes and things can take special mounts or upgrades, and like in fantasy, heroes can stand on their Oathstone. So yeah, really cool. And then last but not least, this is Little Rune Priest. There are models for Anvil of Doom, which I'll probably do as I expand the force to 2,000 points. But just in this 1,000 points, I've actually got this as my second hero, alongside the general. Add a little bit of support for orders, and a bit of anti-magic in there as well. So that's my 1,000 points of Warmaster. I chose dwarves because I wanted to do something that wasn't just humans. I've done a lot of that in historical gaming recently, and even through Horus Heresy and Old World I always seem to pick the humans. So I thought I'm going to do an army or armies that aren't humans, something a bit different, something a bit more fantasy. And I've always loved the dwarves. I've never had a proper dwarf army in the old world, so I thought let's send it with some Warmaster. They're also quite low model count, so it's quite an easy force to get to grips with and get painted up. It's not vampire counts, you know, you don't need thousands and thousands of bases. However, I think I am going to make a opposition force for these guys, and I have settled on night goblins, which sounds silly, but I think you could go quite heavy on the trolls and the squigs, and they can also paint quite quickly. I have already put together one unit of a test of that, so I look forward to seeing 1,000 points of them, hopefully, on the channel in the near future. And then I can start playing some games. Hopefully I can get some games with this 1,000 points with some friends. But other than that, I hopefully will make my own kind of battle set, which I like to do. Some more terrain to do as well. You can see the trees in the background. I've got they'll do. I've got some of these old Dwarven statues from an old project. But other than that, I don't really have any terrain suitable for Warmaster, so that's going to be a separate project as well. So maybe look out for some more videos on terrain building, some night goblins, and then expanding this force. So there's lots more units I can still add to this. We've got the flame cannon, which I've got the files for, and then there's some files for the Anvil of Doom, which will be great centerpiece to add as well. More heroes, obviously some more slayers, more handgunners, more warriors, and hopefully jump up to 2,000 points, because hopefully I'm going to an event in April, so that's a great target. So thanks so much for watching. I won't ramble on too much longer, just a quick overview of this initial start. If you found this channel through Warmaster, please stick around. I hope to do more Warmaster content on the channel as I continue to explore this wonderful game.